There's a mystery unfolding in Solano County. Over the last 5 years, the group Flannery Associates has discreetly bought up 60,000 acres of land surrounding Travis Air Force Base. Finally forced out of the shadows, a collection of Silicon Valley billionaires reveal they're trying to build a utopia on the rolling hills between Sacramento and the Bay Area. They call the project California Forever. It's been met with some strong and vocal opposition from longtime residents, elected officials, and other community leaders. Jan Schramik is betting on California, not only for his future, but others.
I know we've doubled down on California at a time when a lot of other people have given up on the state.
He and a group of billionaire investors want to create a new city in Solano County from the ground up. They call the project California Forever. The renderings of the proposed city look like something out of a fictional book. Streets without cars, children on bikes, people on kayaks, neighbors gathered at their local coffee shop. It would be a solar-powered community.
Where your kids can walk to school and you can walk to a grocery store or to a restaurant, ideally to your work as well. And it is built in a much more environmentally friendly and sustainable way where it relies more on transit and less on cars, and it has a much smaller environmental footprint.
Schramik is a former Goldman Sachs trader who lived many years in Europe and has long had a fascination with walkable cities. He and his family actually moved to Fairfield in September, his value of work-life balance now spilling over into his proposal.
My wife and I are young parents, and if we had to commute an hour and a half every day, we would never see our kids for breakfast or for dinner. You only get to tell your 2-year-old a bedtime story 365 days in your life, and then it's gone.
He sat down with ABC 10 for one of the rare television interviews he's granted in 7 years on the project.
About 6-7 years ago, I discovered this site and got to know Solano County, and eventually had the idea that you could build one of them here in a way that would really bring up the whole community and be a real asset to Solano County.
The name of the company the investors formed is Flannery Associates. Now, Schramik wants to set the record straight about his intentions, which have been called into question by many.
We never had the intention of building a city next to Travis Air Force Base. We started buying property far away from the base. Eventually we acquired property close to the base because we wanted to be able to work with the base to protect it and to strengthen it. And we felt that if we were doing a large project in the 5 or 10 miles away from the base, then we would want to control the property next to the base as well.
You've been buying land for over 5 years. Why the initial secrecy?
We wanted to prevent the situation where if we announced the plans prematurely, there would be this reckless speculation rush. And then the county would be dealing with lots of different people proposing lots of different projects, and it would result in disorderly growth and sprawl.
Do you regret the way that you went about it?
No, we've been very methodical about it from the beginning, and we've been very responsive to government agencies when they've come in and they ask us to confirm that there was no Chinese involvement.
Schramik says the company revealed their investors a year ago when the government asked, made up of LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman, American entrepreneur Mark Anderson, and Laurene Powell Jobs, Apple co-founder Steve Jobs' widow. But multiple lawmakers, including Congressman John Garamendi, Congressman Mike Thompson, and Senator Bill Dodd, all told ABC 10 in August they were unclear on the project and they didn't meet Jan Schramik until later that month.
Were there lies? Was there misinformation? Did the plan change over time?
Absolutely not.
To give you an idea of the scope of this project, 52,000 acres is twice the size of the city of Elk Grove and larger than the city of Stockton. Schramik says they're done purchasing land and are on to the next step, a listening tour in surrounding cities.
I think that the biggest misconception that's out there right now is that there's community opposition to the project.
But there are doubts.
I can't overstate just how widespread this impulse is amongst tech leaders to build new cities from scratch. Some of the founders of the most prominent tech companies have proposed building new cities from scratch in recent years. Google's Larry Page, Tesla's Elon Musk.
Molly Turner teaches at UC Berkeley School of Business. She says tech investors prefer to start from scratch, but struggle with making the idea a reality. Schramik says California Forever is not like prior tech utopian ideas looking to stand alone.
We think that government in Solano County is very well run, the county is very well run. We have no plans to build any kind of utopia or any kind of city with different governance. We would love to build a great community that is in unincorporated Solano County for a long time, run by the county. It pays taxes to the county.
And with California Forever set to be a commuter's refuge, attracting people from the Bay Area and Valley regions, traffic and carbon footprint are a top concern. Zachary Lamb also teaches at UC Berkeley. His expertise is city planning and urban design with climate change.
Do you have a good, clean, reliable water supply? Do you have a good power supply? Do you have good transit access? And as far as I understand, none of that is there in this corner of Solano County.
Commuting out is part of the footprint. Another part of the footprint is how do people move around inside the city. And in many of the cities in California, a substantial part of the emissions is how people move inside the city. And if we build a city where people largely walk or bike or use public transit inside the city, that compensates for a lot of commuting.
For traffic, Schromick says they want to use Highway 12 and 113 out of Dixon and Rio Vista to get to California Forever. Lamb says while the project is fascinating, he wishes the resources and creativity were put towards existing cities.
The feasibility of realizing a vision like what we've seen in those renderings, to me, strikes me as quite low.
Flannery Associates says they want to start from scratch for multiple reasons, including housing for a real estate market that has a short supply.
There's a lot of California families that are asking whether they're going to have a future in the state or whether they should leave. There's a lot of California companies that are reevaluating their footprint after COVID and thinking about are they going to stay. If California is going to build a big project that really makes a dent in many of these issues, now is the time to do it.
Flannery Associates seems like Walt Disney, and California Forever is your Tomorrowland.
I don't think that that's what we are looking to do. I mean, there's people who've kind of promised to reinvent urban living and they've promised to invent the cities of tomorrow. We would like to build a city of yesterday, if anything.
Now, California Forever will soon start collecting signatures to get their initiative to build the city on the 2024 November ballot. Here's a look at what they're promising you and what a new city could look like. We talk one-on-one with the planners.
Today is the day.
Today is the day that founder and CEO Jan Schromick reveals California Forever to the world. Described as a mixed-use, walkable city, 18,000 acres between Travis Air Force Base and Rio Vista. If it's Schromick's dream city, planner Gabriel Metcalf will be the one to root it in reality.
It is a fascinating gig for a city planner.
Metcalf envisions a variety of housing from apartments, rentals, townhouses, and homes with a starting price of $450,000 and with the ability to walk from one end of the neighborhood to the other, each with grocery stores, restaurants, parks, and schools. The yellow on this map, the land outside of Travis, will become a solar field, generating enough power for 1.5 million homes. They say only 30% of the 60,000 acres they used will actually be for residential.
Outside of the urban footprint, we will continue to have an agriculture business and an energy generation business.
California Forever will start with a 10,000-person community to test the idea, which Schromick says will cost $2 billion to build. Then they'll move to 50,000.
The major initial phase is 50,000, but if it gets momentum, it has the potential to be as much as 400,000 people.
But California Forever can't move past 50,000 people without meeting their promised guarantees. Anye Spivey previously worked on the housing next to Jack London Square in Oakland. He's now the director of development planning and is making sure California Forever keeps its promises, including 15,000 jobs for people guaranteed to make $77,000 a year.
Firefighters, police officers, nurses, etc., back into the communities in which they reside so that they're not having to commute an hour.
The group is also promising $200 million to other Solano County towns and $70 million in scholarships.
$400 million in housing funds available for the first 50,000. You'll see an additional $400 million available if we're able to grow beyond 50,000.
They say they won't be taking tax revenue from the county. It'll be funded by California Forever and its residents. We asked how much in taxes California residents would have to pay to sustain the city. They said they don't know yet.
The impact is on the eastern part of the county, us, okay? So the western part, those are the ones that are going to decide whether this project is going to get approved or not.
Mayor Ron Cott says once a park is created to separate Rio Vista and California Forever, and there's a guarantee the new city won't use any of the county's water, he'll be on board, but residents still need some convincing.
I think it was very bad to exclude the community, to do this on very short notice.
So far, they have not proved to be necessarily good neighbors.
California Forever is feeling confident.
We're pretty sure we're going to win.
California Forever released those plans to a small group of people, less than 100. Many in the community were upset they weren't invited. So we traveled to many cities in Solano County to share what we know, the pictures, the information, and to hear from residents about turning all of that farmland into the potential new city.
At the Rio Vista Bakery and Cafe, we couldn't decide what was hotter, the coffee or California Forever as a topic of conversation.
Who wants to be my neighbor?
California Forever.
Mary Jane has been teaching for 46 years, still a substitute today. She's interested in the guarantees Flannery Associates is making for future generations.
They said they're going to build all their own schools because they don't want to overcrowd existing schools. What do you think about that?
Well, true, because we're at our limit, I think, now.
We showed Walt Manos, who's been attending the town halls, the new renderings.
That's beautiful. Utopian city, right?
But Walt says these are just ideas. It's too premature.
We don't like what's going on with our ranchers here right now.
Traffic on Highway 12 is a big sticking point for many Solano County residents.
I don't know what they're talking about, an offshoot, but we know we have a major problem here with our congestion every day.
The issue for many living in Rio Vista, in order to get to California Forever, you have to drive through their small town. This roundabout is a potential entrance to the proposed city. Knowing there will be extra traffic, California Forever is proposing an expansion of the busy highway and a new bypass. In Suisun City, we found an anomaly.
Have you heard about California Forever?
No.
When we showed Gabriel the map, the 35-year resident reacted like everyone else.
It will be crazy on the highway. It's a small highway. How are they going to go over there? They're going to block us completely.
A look at the new renderings of the proposed downtown brought him around.
Dinner shopping, yes. Yeah, normal, but they have to fix the highway.
The same amenities caught a Vacaville resident's eye.
I'm excited about it. Restaurants, movie theaters, like fun stuff.
After a look at the new photos.
No, I probably won't move, but I'll go visit.
Well, this wraps up our in-depth reporting for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to learn more about California Forever, visit abc10.com or you can scan this QR code on the screen. Thank you again for watching. Take care.